So Dillian Whyte has come out saying he would have destroyed that coward Deontay Wilder. Those are the words of Dillian Whyte on Boxing Scene article here. Let me quickly get to what Dillian Whyte has actually said. He said it's ridiculous considering he lost the first fight, talking about obviously Deontay Wilder's fight against Tyson Fury. He said, I think Tyson Fury is better than him in every department. What's he going to change now? He hasn't changed. He hasn't changed in the past 12 to 15 years. Nothing's going to change. He also said he can't throw a jab. He can't box. His balance is terrible. His neck is too weak. He doesn't hit as hard as everyone says. For him, it's more timing and speed that allowed him to knock out the guys he did. He's not like he's such a devastating puncher. Look at his record. He hasn't knocked out anyone of not really. Now you know why the card ran away from me for so long. I was #1 challenger since 2017, yet he never wanted to fight me and ducked and swerved my rightful shot for 900 days, pathetically hiding behind the WBC and begging them to allow him to fight anyone else but me. I would have destroyed him and he knows it. And those are the words of Dillian Whyte. So Dillian Whyte basically trashing Deontay Wilder. Now, in terms of criticism of Deontay Wilder, I don't really fully concur with Dillian Whyte's criticism here. Obviously, he said Deontay Wilder. Let me just quickly go through a few of the things that Dillian Whyte has said bit by bit. He said it's ridiculous considering he lost the first fight. He said Tyson Fury is better than Deontay Wilder in every department. Now, I would say Tyson Fury is better than Deontay Wilder in every department except for his punching power and his ability to let off his right hand and consistently get consistent knockouts. So I won't say every single department that Tyson Fury is better than Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder's jab is underrated, in my opinion. In the first fight, he did pretty well, landing a few of his jabs on Tyson Fury. But Tyson Fury, obviously, people say that he's got better boxing skills than Deontay Wilder. But in terms of punching power and being able to consistently land the right hand on a stretch of opponents, I would say Deontay Wilder is better than Tyson Fury in that department. But in terms of defense and other all boxing skill areas, all the different areas of boxing, in terms of skills, I would say Tyson Fury is better than Deontay Wilder in that area. Dillian Whyte said Wilder can't throw a jab. No, I think Deontay can throw a jab. He can't box. Yeah, you could say in terms of it depends on who he's fighting, really, because we saw Deontay Wilder he didn't look too bad boxing Bermane Stiverne in the first fight. I think Deontay Wilder boxed alright in that fight, but I feel like the problem with Deontay Wilder, he's kind of got reliant on his right hand, because I think I think he has the ability to box, but not like obviously the level of a Tyson Fury or an AJ, but I think he can box to some like a decent standard. But he's just become reliant on his right hand, which everyone's going for, and that's why everyone says he's got that equalizer, isn't it? He's become overly reliant on that right hand, and it's kind of like neglected the boxing, which I believe he can do to some extent, because I've seen him box decent against obviously Stiverne and a few of his opponents previously. He's boxed decent against those guys, but against Luis Ortiz, and obviously against Tyson Fury, he was quite right hand happy in those fights, and he didn't really display any form of looking to, he couldn't really change his game plan and utilize any skills if he does have the skills. But obviously Dillian Whyte also said here Wilder's balance. Yeah, Wilder doesn't really have great balance. His neck is too weak. I haven't seen, like, where has Deontay Wilder shown that his neck is weak? He's taken big shots off Luis Ortiz in the first fight against Tyson Fury. He was hurt, obviously, in that round 3. His legs were gone. He was still able to last there. Obviously, the ref helped him be able to last by not waving off the fight, but Tyson Fury couldn't take out a sitting duck in front of him in form of Deontay Wilder. So I wouldn't, all this Deontay's neck is weak and all that. I feel like obviously Dillian Whyte is kind of happy. In a way, not, I would say happy, but he's been, he's cheering at the loss of, he's basically trying to beat up a man when he's down, so to speak. Let me put it that way. And he's trying to say, and the one that I think is just catching me here is when he says Deontay doesn't hit as hard as everyone says. Like, Dillian Whyte hasn't been in the ring to get hit by Deontay Wilder to know that Deontay doesn't hit, as everyone says. Tyson Fury, after the first fight with Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury, Tyson Fury himself, he said that Deontay's got dynamite in his hands. He said that he's probably the hardest hitting puncher in the history of heavyweight boxing. Even after the rematch, Tyson Fury even said he nearly went cuckoo after Deontay caught him. So I don't know what Dillian Whyte's talking about, saying he doesn't hit as hard as everyone says. I think Dillian Whyte is like the 0.000000001% of people in boxing who doesn't think Deontay doesn't hit hard. Deontay still hits hard. Don't get that twisted. Deontay Wilder hits extremely hard. Could Dillian Whyte take out Dominic Brazil in the fashion that Wilder took him out? Could Dillian Whyte take out Luis Ortiz in the fashion that Wilder took out Luis Ortiz? One shot, knocked out. Could Dillian Whyte take out someone like Kelvin Price? Just leap across the ring, knock him spark out? Could Dillian Whyte have dropped Tyson Fury in the first fight, the right hand left hook, even though Fury got? Could Dillian Whyte let off some shots like that? I don't think he can. Because Deontay Wilder can easily say that Dillian Whyte ain't got the boxing skills that Tyson Fury's got. Because one thing Dillian Whyte has actually been alluding to is talking about his style, and then as the reason why Deontay Wilder was ducking him and all that kind of thing. Dillian Whyte talking about obviously the game plan Tyson Fury was able to execute against Deontay Wilder. Just because Fury was able to execute that don't mean Dillian Whyte could execute that game plan. Can Dillian Whyte ride shots like Tyson Fury? Can he slip the shots as quick as Tyson Fury is able to slip the right hand? I don't think Dillian Whyte can be able to. He hasn't got the skills and the dynamics to avoid that right hand, in my opinion. Because Dillian Whyte talking about Wilder ain't got good balance. Dillian Whyte himself hasn't got great balance. His balance against AJ in the first fight wasn't any good at all. Dillian Whyte hasn't displayed the greatest balance. He hasn't displayed the greatest balance that that I've seen. He hasn't got the greatest balance. So I just think, I don't know, this stuff that Dillian Whyte has thrown at Deontay. What you can only, once he gets in the ring with Deontay and gets hit with the right hand, and if it bounces off his chin, just like the way Joshua's right hand bounced off Andy Ruiz's chin, then I can say, raw. Maybe Dillian Whyte has got a point here. Maybe Wilder don't hit as hard as everyone says. But if Deontay Wilder lands a Dominic Brazil style right hand on Dillian Whyte, he's gonna get sparked into. No one wants to see him anymore. Because I think if Deontay Wilder lands a right hand on Dillian Whyte, he's going to sleep. I think he's definitely 100%. Dillian Whyte is going to sleep, because Dillian Whyte has been rocked by Robert Helenius. Obviously, he got rocked by AJ. He's been like, it's not. He got dropped by Oscar Rivas. And you're trying to tell me that Deontay Wilder can't knock Dillian Whyte out? Dillian Whyte hasn't got the movement of a what do you call it? Of a Tyson Fury. But at the same time, Dillian Whyte, he's tough. He'll probably put a lot of pressure on Deontay Wilder if they were to fight. But I just don't think he's got that. He hasn't got the height of a Tyson Fury. He hasn't got the movement of a Tyson Fury. And I expect if Dillian Whyte did fight Deontay Wilder, I suspect he would be knocked out in spectacular, devastating fashion. In my opinion. And in terms of Dillian Whyte talking about, obviously, what Dillian Whyte's been mandatory for a long time. Yeah, obviously, I think Deontay Wilder's meant to have fought Dillian Whyte ages ago, in my opinion, because I don't know what happened there where Deontay ended up fighting Dominic Brazil, because I'm sure Dillian Whyte was ranked above Dominic Brazil at the time. So why did the WBC pick put Dominic Brazil all of a sudden as mandatory, and then Deontay Wilder fights Dominic Brazil? I think Deontay Wilder was meant to fight Dillian Whyte a while ago. Why he didn't fight Dillian Whyte, we're not all privy to what is going on behind the scenes, so I can't say why he didn't end up fighting Dillian Whyte. But in my opinion, if Dillian Whyte and Deontay Wilder ended up fighting, obviously you can't count out Dillian Whyte's left hook, because Wilder did get cracked. He did get clipped by Luis Ortiz, and we saw Wilder can get hurt by getting clipped on the chin. I think what Wilder's chin is actually underrated, because I've seen Wilder take some shots off Tyson Fury, even though he was hurt. He took the shots off Luis Ortiz. He couldn't get put down. So I think his punch resistance and his chin is actually underrated. But if Dillian Whyte and if Deontay Wilder and Dillian Whyte actually did fight, I can't, obviously it's heavyweight boxing, I can't count, because Dillian Whyte's got a dangerous left hook. If he cleans out Deontay Wilder's chin with that left hook, you never know. Deontay Wilder could be going to sleep. But Dillian Whyte using Tyson Fury's performance against Wilder as a yardstick to believe that he can do the same thing and knock out Deontay Wilder. Dillian Whyte ain't Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury's got the skills, he's got the IQ, he's got the height, he's got the what do you call it? The reach. Dillian Whyte, I don't think Dillian Whyte's got a longer reach than Deontay Wilder. I don't think Dillian Whyte has more power in his right hand than Deontay Wilder. I don't think Dillian Whyte has better movement than Deontay Wilder. So there's a lot of check boxes that Deontay Wilder ticks against Dillian Whyte compared to ticking against Tyson Fury, because Tyson Fury's got a lot more advantages over a lot more advantages over Deontay Wilder. Despite his 273 pounds, he still had good movement. Dillian Whyte, what would Deontay Wilder have done to Marius Wack? I think Deontay Wilder would have sparked Marius Wack into retirement. Dillian Whyte couldn't knock out Marius Wack. Obviously, Marius Wack has got a good chin, but he didn't look great against Marius Wack. And even the Dillian Whyte that fought Derek Chisora, even though he knocked out Chisora, I don't think that Dillian Whyte beats Deontay Wilder, in my opinion. I need to see what Dillian Whyte does against Alexander Povetkin. I need to see what he does against Alexander Povetkin. Because for me, Povetkin's he's fleet-footed, he's got good movement on his feet. His hands are pretty, he's got good hand speed. I want to see how Dillian Whyte copes with the speed, the better foot speed that Alexander Povetkin brings. Because I believe that Deontay Wilder just ticks more check boxes against Dillian Whyte in terms of being able to beat Dillian Whyte than Deontay Wilder was able to tick against Tyson Fury. So drop your comments in the comment section below. What do you think about Dillian Whyte coming out saying that he would have destroyed that coward Deontay Wilder? Is that wishful thinking? Would Dillian Whyte get knocked out? Would he be sparked out by Deontay Wilder's right hand? Would Dillian Whyte knock out Deontay Wilder with his left hook? Would he be able to land the left hook that he landed on Joseph Parker on Deontay Wilder? Because if he did fight Deontay and he did land that left hook on Deontay Wilder's chin, Deontay could be in some trouble. Because that left hook is no joke. That left hook that knocked out Derek Chisora. And Derek Chisora, that even himself talks about he likes to eat leather. He couldn't eat that left hook. Went put to sleep. So, who would win between these two? Deontay Wilder versus Dillian Whyte. Drop your comments in the comment section below. What do you think, guys? Cool.